Hey babes, happy Tuesday. Coach Coral here. It's time for another edition of Training Tip Tuesday. I hope everyone's week is off to a fantastic start. Some cooler weather rolling in, which is super exciting for a lot of us, especially down here in Florida. So today we're going to jump straight into it. One of the things that we've been talking a lot about recently, especially in light of our Rock Your Race training program, we're starting to get into a bit heavier training. We also have a bunch of friends that are gearing up for longer distance, late season races. And so the topic of recovery has come up quite a bit recently. So I wanted to hop on today and talk about the three big buckets that can best assist you in maximizing your recovery efforts, because this really is, I think, one of the most neglected parts of our training is making sure that when we are recovering, we're actually recovering and not just kind of digging ourselves into a deeper hole, and making sure that we're really making the most of our time and our downtime away from the swim, bike, run strength. So the three things that we're going to kind of touch on today are active recovery. We're going to talk about sleep, and then we're also going to sort of on a broad spectrum talk about nutrition and its role as well. So first off, let's talk about active recovery. So I know it's pretty common for us to have rest days, and these are imperative. You have to take rest days in order to progress your training and to see benefits so that your body can absorb the training that you've done. However, I think one of the misconceptions is that for recovery days, you're sitting on the couch eating bonbons or Cheetos, which don't slight anyone at all for operating that way. But on your recovery days, you also want to be sure to incorporate some active recovery. So if you've ever noticed, and I'm certainly in this camp as well, if you've ever noticed that perhaps after a harder training day or a long training day, when you sit down for an extended period of time, getting up, you kind of feel extra achy, a little creaky, probably super stiff. So by doing some active recovery, and active recovery, we're talking about very gentle, like a walk, easy recovery yoga, not this power flow stuff, even massage, recovery boots. What this does, what these things do, is they promote blood flow throughout the body. And what that does, by having that circulation through your body, it allows your blood to carry away these things that have built up in your system, and it allows oxygen-rich blood to get to all of your muscles and really regenerate the taxed areas that you've been placing stress on. So you recover more quickly when you have this sort of blood circulation going on. So definitely, don't be afraid to kick your feet up, but also keep moving a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit throughout your day on your recovery days, so that you can reap those benefits from doing the active recovery pieces. All right, so something else that goes along with this, and my personal favorite, other than nutrition, is sleep. So just in general, as athletes, we do require a bit more sleep, especially when we're going through these tough training cycles, than perhaps the general population. But I think also as busy athletes, is one of those things that we kind of feel like we have to burn the candle on both ends to get everything that we need to get done. So with that said, I really do find that having a pre-bed routine helps kind of set you up for success about hitting a reasonable bedtime. And the biggest thing is putting your phone away about an hour or so before you are due to go to sleep. So hopefully you're hitting the sack within a reasonable amount of time. But try putting your phone down an hour or so beforehand. If you are, working the evening, these are actually blue light glasses. You've probably seen me wearing them a lot recently in videos. Blue light glasses also help buffer your system from the effects of screen light, which does kind of mess with your body's natural circadian rhythms and can disrupt your natural inclination to fall asleep at a certain time with, twilight, etc. So, reducing screen time to get your body kind of in that flow, and then doing things like, making sure it's relatively dark, lowering the temperature inside to promote deeper sleep. And then also you can do things like that naturally promote melatonin production in the body. Rather than taking a melatonin supplement, you can also look at supplementing with tart cherry juice and also valerian root. Both of these promote melatonin production in the body. And Dr. Stacy Sims talks a lot about this in her book Roar, and this is especially important and quite helpful, particularly for babes. So lots of different things that you can do there, but definitely big proponent for at least 7.5, 8 to, I tend to push it a bit more to 9 hours if you can, but of course realize that everybody's super busy, but don't neglect your sleep. It is one of the best things that you can do to promote recovery, because you do regenerate and restore yourself as you sleep. All right, so the last thing that we're going to talk about is nutrition. We already talked a little bit about this with how to promote natural melatonin production within the body for sleeping, but also just some more general things to think about with nutrition in regards to recovery. So the best thing that you can do during your workout is to fuel your workouts. So if you just think about this, so if you're doing a 4 to 5 hour training ride and you don't take any nutrition with you, your body, in order to meet the demands that you're placing on your system, is going to be pulling all of these nutrients out of your muscles, and you're going to end your workout in a very deep deficit. All right. And so trying to regroup on the back end and refuel and restock all of those stores that were diminished throughout that training session, it's going to be really difficult. On the converse, something that would be a better solution so that you don't end with this big deficit that you have to regroup on at the end of the day, is to fuel appropriately throughout your workout. And this also sets you up for a very successful race day, because this should be part of testing your race day strategy. So, and it also helps your metabolism from deregulating. All sorts of cool stuff that goes on here. But suffice it to say, try to do your best to fuel any workouts that are longer than 45 minutes to an hour, because that's really where your body starts to dig itself into a hole. And especially as female athletes, this is super important for maintaining a healthy metabolism level. And also, especially if you are in a space where you are doing double workouts. So you've got a workout perhaps in the morning or midday, and then you've got another one later in the day. Absolutely do not dig yourself into a deficit for that first session, especially if you're looking to optimize your training later in the day as well. You want to maintain that topped off tank as best as you can, so that you can really get the physiological benefits of your training session. So fuel during your workouts. Subsequently, once you have finished your workouts, don't forget to fuel within that 30-minute refuel. That's the optimal time window to refuel and replenish everything that you haven't or everything that you've kind of used up. And so we're talking, and these also are based on Dr. Stacy Sims guidelines. We've seen great success with these. And these recommendations are, 25 to 30 grams of protein, refueling in that 30-minute window or so right after a hard workout or a long workout. And then also, don't forget your glycogen stores to replenish those. And so a lot of the research has shown that things like starchy vegetables, so potatoes, parsnips, root veggies, anything along those lines, your muscles love those long chain, starchy fibers, and your body really absorbs those. Things like fruit, your liver really likes those, and so it will take away from everything that's being stored in your muscles. So mashed potatoes and a protein shake, figure out what works for you, but really those pieces are really crucial to getting your body the nutrients it needs to recover and rebuild itself properly and efficiently. Okay, also just want to talk more macro level about fueling enough, frequently enough. And this is just more of a general guideline. So be sure that you're not going extended periods without eating or fueling on some level. So when you go 4 to 5 to 6 hours and have these long breaks between fueling your body, because we are super busy throughout the day, even if we're not training, make sure that you're having snacks in there, because otherwise your metabolism is going to kind of put itself on, like, think of it like screensaver mode, and it kind of your body powers down, your metabolism powers down, and this kind of throws a wrench in things. So in order to keep your body fueled and etc., you want to top things off throughout the day. All right, so that was a lot of information, and hopefully I didn't get too long-winded there, but there's so many important things to talk about around this topic. Hopefully some of these tidbits have stuck with you, and you've got a couple new directions that you can progress your recovery strategies towards. Interested to know if anything in particular resonated with y'all, and also if there's anything that you do that I didn't mention today. So I think that's about all for today. Couple quick shout outs. One of our babe athletes, Danielle, completed her first ever half marathon this past weekend, the Philly virtual marathon. So Danielle, congratulations. We are so freaking proud of you. And we've also got some other babes that are gearing up for races this weekend, locally here in the Tampa Bay area, and also elsewhere in the States. So whatever y'all are up to, keep it super awesome, stay positive, lots of crazy stuff going on right now. But we are just so thankful for our babe family in this time. And I'll also be out at the beach this afternoon if anybody wants to come hop in the water for a swim or float or just to watch the sunset. It's going to be a beautiful one. So with that, have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. And as always, if there's anything that we can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. All right, stay badass and have a great Tuesday.